All right, guys, welcome back to Blake's Takes. I'm your host, Blake. As always, with me, my co-host.
Hey, Garrett. Oh, wow.
Hey, Garrett. It's been a long night as we've already recorded Moon Knight.
Hi, guys. It's Garrett.
Okay, there you go. But yeah, some quick episodes to put out for y'all because we have a lot of MCU stuff to talk about.
Yes, we
And
do.
this review is going to be focused on Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. I think the longest time that it took to get another sequel in the MCU.
Yeah, it has been quite a while since the first Doctor Strange movie came out.
6 years ago.
6 years ago, which I loved the first Doctor Strange movie.
Oh, I did too.
It was a very good solo story.
It was a shorter one too, but under the radar.
It is. I feel like that's definitely one of the more underrated Marvel movies for sure.
So now we have Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
And we're finally seeing the results of the events in Loki in full effect.
And Spider-Man No Way Home. So a lot is going on right now. We
Yes.
are really into the phase of Marvel where we are diving deep into the multiverse.
Yeah.
A few things to point out with this Doctor Strange movie. One, directed by Sam Raimi, who obviously directed the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man trilogy.
Yes, and also is a well-known horror director.
Yes.
Which
So,
played a big part in this movie.
big part. And also the music was by Danny Elfman as well.
Really?
Who did the music for the Spider-Man trilogy.
Did not know that.
See, I didn't really know it either until afterwards. Because low-key, like, it didn't really sound like Danny Elfman.
No, it
It
didn't.
didn't sound like his typical scores.
Yeah, like you can you definitely
can.
notice styles, especially
Yeah.
with music and directing.
Yeah.
Like I could tell this was a Sam Raimi movie,
Yes.
but score-wise, no.
No, I couldn't tell, yeah. So, damn, where to start with this movie?
Let's start with the implications of the whole multiverse now.
Okay.
So, now that we have a full multiverse in effect,
Yes.
it is very hard to predict what's going on.
It is.
This movie left a lot of questions on the table.
And it's hard to really know what consequences are going to be permanent.
Exactly. Because, like, honestly, if they really want to bring a character to our universe.
Earth 616.
Yeah, we finally found out the movies are Earth 616. And a lot of people believed that our MCU was not 616. That 616 was actually the comics.
Well, even Mysterio in Spider-Man Far From Home says Earth 616. How did he know that?
How did he know that?
Yeah.
He brings up the multiverse, and this was before the events of Loki.
Yep.
That's confusing.
Oh, so that leaves some questions there. Mysterio in Far From Home tells Spider-Man that this is Earth Dimension 616.
How would he know that?
Ooh.
I didn't even think about that.
Uh-huh.
Dang.
Got some questions to be answered.
Absolutely.
But yeah, they really can do anything now.
They really can. Like, I mean, okay, obviously spoilers. So if you haven't seen the movie, get the fuck off this podcast right now. I don't want to hear about it in the comments or anything.
Yeah, I mean, by the time you hear this, the movie has been out for, what, a week now? Plus, me personally, I don't listen to any reviews until I see the movie.
If people are going to spoil it, like, people are going to do it.
Yeah.
People are going to spoil the movie. And, we try our best. We don't want to spoil the movie for people. We don't like to do that. But, you just have to be conscious, stay off social media.
Yeah.
When a new movie comes out and you haven't seen it yet. I mean, that's just how it is, unfortunately.
Oh, absolutely. Because I mean, by day 2 and 3, I was already seeing so many like pictures on social media.
Yeah,
of
I mean, there were spoilers before the movie even came out. It's like, I mean, I don't know why people insist on doing it, but they do. We don't like to do that. So, forewarning, get out of here right now if you have not seen the new Doctor Strange.
So essentially, America Chavez, a character in the Marvel Comics, is introduced where her power is that she can travel to other universes
at will. Even though she can't control it quite yet.
Right. Wanda, which I'm really glad that they actually took a lot of the information from the show WandaVision into this movie.
Yeah.
Like this is the first time where you've needed to watch an MCU show to see this MCU movie.
Absolutely.
And WandaVision was a great show. So if you remember, at the end of WandaVision, she was she was getting a hold of the Darkhold.
Yes.
And because she wanted a way to bring with her kids again.
She wanted to bring her kids back.
Yeah.
And you know, obviously she created them out of thin air, basically, in her little world that she created in Westview. And she can't really do that on a universal scale, at least not that she knows of. Honestly, that's what the whole House of M thing is like she does totally rewrite her entire universe.
Yeah.
But not in the MCU. And but basically, so her solution was to go to a different one.
Yeah.
Where
and she wants to extract America Chavez's powers.
Yeah, so she can use it herself, so she can travel from multiverse to multiverse
at will.
Yeah, at will.
Yeah. Doctor Strange is having these dreams, and they're not really dreams. He's actually seeing what's going on in other universes. And he goes to Wanda, to talk to her. She, she spills her own beans accidentally.
Yeah. I liked that.
I did too.
Where she caught herself and she was like, "You never said her name, did you?"
Yep.
No,
So
no, I didn't.
Doctor Strange then finds out that, oh shit, this is Wanda's plan. Like Wanda becomes the main villain. We weren't sure based off the trailers, if Wanda was gonna be like the main villain. But my God, was she ever?
Oh, absolutely. Honestly, she was definitely one of the more terrifying villains that we've ever seen. And I mean, we kind of saw this coming, especially when we saw her reading the Darkhold. Anybody who knows anything about Marvel Comics, the Darkhold, it's literally called the Book of the Damned. Like, it corrupts your mind.
Yeah.
Whenever you read it, like it has a hold on whoever reads it.
Hence the Darkhold.
Hence the Darkhold, yeah. So WandaVision was probably the first time where we saw her like adjust her moral compass to benefit herself.
Yeah.
But even at the end of it, she seemed like pretty content with shutting it down because she's like, I was hurting people.
Right.
But then Jesus, once she started reading the Darkhold, it just went full effect. Like, I don't give a shit. I want my kids back.
Yeah. And I also wasn't sure from the trailers as well, like how much screen time we were going to get of Wanda. It almost was a Wanda movie.
Yeah, it was a lot of her. Like, I'd say there's a pretty even split between her and Doctor Strange.
Absolutely. Now, she is the Scarlet Witch. She is by far the most powerful person in the MCU.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
She'll kick anybody's ass.
Yeah, I mean...
and who knows what she'll do.
I love Thor, but sorry, bud.
Bro, he's getting annihilated.
You're getting your ass beat.
Yeah, it's crazy. Speaking of Wanda... She definitely was my favorite part of the movie, by far. I thought Elizabeth Olsen's performance was great. Wanda, these past few times we've seen her, she's had a lot of sacrifices. She's lost a lot. So we just get a bunch of great emotional acting from Elizabeth Olsen as Wanda lately.
I know, and she sees the system as like corrupt. Like whenever somebody else has to break the rules to save the day or whatever, it's considered okay.
Right.
But then when she does it, she's considered the bad guy. However, her breaking the rules was for her own benefit.
Yeah.
I mean, but she's obviously not thinking clearly, so she can't see that difference. When Doctor Strange used the Time Stone and broke like the laws of time or whatever, he did so that way the Earth would so the universe would survive.
Yeah.
But when she did it, it was just so she could have a family and have Vision back.
So as Doctor Strange and America Chavez are traveling through universes, they land on one universe where a lot actually happens, Earth 838.
Yeah.
Which is where they run into the Illuminati.
And that was a big reveal.
That was
a
big reveal. And a big reveal for not only this movie, but the MCU moving forward.
Exactly. Like, I mean, we were introduced to Charles Xavier, who made first X-Men character, who made an appearance in the MCU.
Patrick Stewart.
Didn't quite make it through this movie. We'll get to that. But
John Krasinski as Reed Richards.
That was freaking awesome.
Yo, that was a fan casting,
100%.
And it worked. Like that was a great fan cast.
It was a good fan cast. And we saw a different version of Captain Marvel.
Yep, who was Maria Rambeau.
Yep, and Captain Britain. Or Captain Carter. Yeah. Yep. So and we got Captain Carter. We got a different version of Mordo, who was not insane and
Yeah.
trying to kill Stephen Strange. Well, turns into that. We saw our first Inhuman, which is Black Bolt, who is an extremely powerful Inhuman.
Yeah.
And
yeah, so
yeah.
on this dimension, they do defeat Thanos, and the Illuminati isn't convinced of, you know, this threat of Wanda, because in their universe, the biggest threat to them was Doctor Strange, because he had gotten a hold of the Darkhold.
Yeah, the Illuminati explained that Doctor Strange is actually the biggest threat to the multiverse. Like, they've ran into and they've dealt with other versions of Doctor Strange, and even their own version of Doctor Strange was potentially dangerous because he had the Darkhold. And as we said earlier, the Darkhold corrupts everybody who reads it. And so, but their solution to defeating Thanos in this universe was the Book of Ashanti, which is basically like the good version of the Darkhold.
Yeah.
Which basically can have which has a solution to like any problem, basically, and tells you how to fix it.
I mean, after they defeat Thanos, though, they have Doctor Strange killed.
Yeah.
You know, and Doctor Strange willingly, you know, died.
Yeah.
He knew he was a threat. So, you know, that's why they're not really convinced of Wanda being the biggest threat to the multiverse.
Yeah, they're worried about this version of Doctor Strange. They're like, in our experience, Doctor Strange is the biggest threat and the biggest cause of incursions.
Yes.
Which is the collapse of possibly 2 dimensions.
Yeah. That also reminds me, too, going into this, I'm really glad I watched What If. I'm really glad I watched WandaVision and What If. Those are 2 things that people really needed to see before going into this movie.
Yeah, everybody, for those who like didn't watch What If, they were probably not confused, but
it would have helped them.
It would have definitely helped you understand the concept.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
I liked the Watcher like throughout that series, and just like we got a different background to each universe.
Because also in What If, we get more of the story of Christine Palmer.
Yes.
And we run into Christine Palmer, another, you know, version of Christine Palmer in Earth 838. This Christine Palmer had, you know, knew the study of the multiverse.
Yeah, like that was literally her field of study.
Yeah.
This was a dimension that knew all too well about the multiverse, and this wasn't the first time they dealt with it.
Yeah.
Like they had a whole system in place of what to do when they deal with multiversal travelers, and seems like Earth 616 is quite behind the ball on this.
Yeah, for real.
So,
but anyways, you know, she is also working at this Illuminati facility where they're holding Doctor Strange and America Chavez. And so also during this Illuminati scene, we really see how powerful Wanda is as she does a spell to dreamwalk in the variant version of Wanda in the 838 universe.
Yup.
And oh boys. Okay, this is one aspect I did like a lot about this film is that it was the most gory kills that we saw in the MCU.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Honestly, like I keep hoping that we're gonna get like a rated R MCU movie.
It could have been this one if they. It could have.
It really could have. Like this was the closest thing we'd ever gotten to it.
It had a big horror aspect to it, as we know, you know, with Sam Raimi.
Yeah, and oh my God, Wanda just wiped the floor with the Illuminati.
The floor of the Illuminati.
It like wasn't even a challenge.
So
man.
First big mistake. I mean, yeah, their smartest person in the universe, Reed Richards.
I saw that going around.
Some bozo bonehead move tells Wanda exactly Black Bolt's power.
Yeah, because she hadn't run into Black Bolt before.
Yeah,
can destroy you with one word from his mouth. What mouth?
Yeah,
she's a witch. She can do that.
Yeah.
Oh my God. But I mean, I guess he knows Wanda from their universe.
Exactly.
So I think the reason why he said that is because he was giving her too much the benefit of the doubt.
Yes.
Definitely, he was appealing to her humanity too much,
they didn't encounter into this powerful of a
version.
Wanda.
Yeah, this powerful version of Wanda, because their version was still kind of like our Avengers Wanda that we know.
Yep.
Just like her basic, you know, telekinesis type stuff, getting in people's heads, like, you know, and like throwing some heavy like magic blasts or whatever.
Yeah.
That is not this Wanda now.
No. So let's go through the kills. So the first one is Black Bolt, and she, you know,
closes his mouth. He tried to speak, and it like bounced back and freaking hit his own brain and killed him that way.
Yeah, you see like blood come out of his eyes.
Oh my god!
And then you got Reed Richards, turned him into Twizzlers.
Turned him into string cheese, man.
Yeah.
And then next was Captain Carter.
Yes.
And just took her own shield and threw it so hard it sliced her in half.
Sliced her in half, bro.
Oh my god!
You see the blood dripping off the shield.
Yeah.
And then the Captain Marvel and this unit, yeah.
However, I gotta agree. Would that really have killed Captain Marvel?
It shouldn't have.
I feel like it shouldn't have. I feel like she can take a heavier hit than that.
No. For having Captain Marvel's power, she died pretty easily.
Yeah.
So yeah, this movie definitely had the tone of this movie was there.
Yeah.
It was. And then later, as you know, Professor X does, he goes into people's mind.
Yeah.
Wanda kills him
in the mind.
In the mind, yeah. I was not expecting all of them to drop like that.
I wasn't either. I mean,
see, this is what you were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Are these consequences permanent now? Because it is multiverse. And I don't think it's going to be permanent because these people are too important in the movement forward.
Way too important.
Yeah.
And you know, this was Earth 838, so I honestly can guarantee you we're probably not going to see Earth 838 again. We just killed like all their biggest heroes.
Yeah.
However, it's extremely possible that these are the same actors and same characters in a different universe. And if we're ever going to see these characters again, they're going to come from another dimension where they're the same people.
Yeah. But also, here's where it's tricky as well, and like where it gets tricky with continuity. Because all these people from these different universes, they all look the same, right?
Not always.
Exactly. So,
and we saw that in Loki, and that's why there's time variance and why they all looked so different. Like there was a few that looked the same as Loki, but they don't always.
And then also, obviously, you know, in Spider-Man No Way Home, you had different Spider-Mans.
Yes. So just because they're the same person doesn't mean it's the same DNA and background, and so
but it's like, okay, why are some different, why are some, I don't know, I mean
and when you ask that question, the answer is it's the multiverse. It can be whatever. Like that's literally gonna be your answer for anything. But back to the plot of this movie, basically the entire thing is Wanda trying to get a hold of America's Chavez so she can steal her powers and go to a dimension where her kids are still alive, and she would basically just take the place of that Wanda in that dimension.
So Chavez eventually does get a hold of her, you know, control of her powers
towards the end.
Towards the end, and Chavez takes Wanda to the universe where
the kids are alive.
Yeah, the kids are alive.
It was 838.
It was 838.
She took her to 838.
Yes.
Where she had just traumatized this version of Wanda and took over her mind and was killing their Avengers, basically.
And essentially, Wanda scared herself.
Yeah.
She did, you know, because her kids were terrified of her. And once, you know, she realizes that this is not the way, she finds her moral compass again.
Yeah, because she'd been so freaking corrupted by this book.
And she decides to destroy the Darkhold.
Destroy it. Yeah, the Darkhold had already been destroyed, but she was going to destroy the temple, which had the carvings in it.
Yes.
Where the Darkhold was translated from. So, you know, you destroy the temple, you destroy all that knowledge.
Yes.
It's never going to resurface again. Seems like she kills herself in the process.
Yes, seems like she killed herself in the process, which I'll be fucking pissed if we don't see any more Scarlet Witch.
I'm going to be so pissed if that's the last of Scarlet Witch that we see.
We better not. I don't think, because she does play some roles in the X-Men shit.
Yeah, she does. She plays huge roles in the X-Men shit.
So I think we can see her again. And Elizabeth Olsen has already said that she would absolutely be down to do more Wanda.
Yeah, and we do know, and again, it's like this is where it's hard to take anything too seriously with this whole multiverse thing, because like, oh, we'll just bring in another version of Wanda. Like you can literally do that for anybody now.
It's tricky.
It is tricky. And it's like, can we even really be upset when we see these characters die?
Yeah.
Because we know it's like, maybe they'll make a reappearance. Like we really don't know what their plan is.
What were some aspects of the film that didn't meet your expectations? I don't know what the popular consensus is. I know a lot of people really loved it, like saying it's amazing, their new favorite Marvel movie, but it didn't really fulfill my expectations.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't call it like a mid movie. I'd call it good, not great.
Yeah.
I think if I were to give it a spot in like my top, it'd make like the top half of my list of Marvel movies, but not like top 5 or top 10 or maybe not even top 10.
Yeah.
Like it was good. I really think Wanda's performance was probably the best that we got. Probably one of the best parts of the movie.
That was the best part to me.
I think they kind of missed out with America Chavez. They could have definitely done more to develop her character because she was just kind of this little kid in distress the whole time. We didn't really get to see too much of her.
Well, no, they didn't really dive into her character at all or her background at all.
Or like, did she just like randomly get powers? I mean, and I get it's the MCU. You can always expand on that in another movie.
You can,
but it would have been nice to see more of that in this movie.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely agree. Because I just didn't have any emotional connection to her because we ourselves got no really information about her. Like, oh, you're supposed to know all this information about her because of the comics. Well, yeah, it's a movie, bro. We ourselves, the audience, you need that emotional connection so that you have a better payoff at the end.
Exactly. And I think that's where these newer Marvel movies are starting to suffer. Yeah. Is because the reason we loved all of our original characters is because they did take the time to develop these.
They developed them from the ground up.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think like now they're starting to get to the point where it's like, oh, you know who he is, you know what they're doing. Yeah. Like, let's just jump right into this. And that's where it's like starting to suffer with the character development of new people that they introduce.
Yeah, because the only really information that we got about America Chavez is, we saw her home planet and we saw her mother's.
Yeah, and then she just like randomly created a portal and went into the multiverse, and that was the last she saw of her parents.
Yeah.
But
that's it.
Yeah. And this made her triumphant moment at the end very anticlimactic. Yeah. Because it's not like we saw her really overcoming anything. No, it was just like, it was a mental thing, obviously. Mm-hmm. Like, I can't control my powers. It happens when I'm really scared. Yeah. And then she just got a little pep talk from Doctor Strange, and then it's like, all right, I'm gonna do this. Yeah. And then it just happened. Yeah. That felt like a little, there could have been more behind that.
No, yeah. It wasn't as triumphant as it could have been. You could have had a better payoff because it's okay. It was only 2 hours and 6 minutes, and a lot of people, before it was released was like, okay, I don't know how I feel about that. Yeah. Is this gonna be good or bad for the movie? And I think it ended up being bad that it was that short. Because it's a lot.
It is.
It's like, a lot.
With all this information that they're trying to put in these movies, I don't think they can afford to have a movie that's just over 2 hours.
I know.
Like, I mean, because that 30, like if you gave it another 30 minutes, that would have been plenty of time for some America Chavez character development.
Yes, because a lot of people were saying like, we thought Spider-Man No Way Home was crazy, so much hype. And people were starting to say, like, just wait for Doctor Strange. Yeah. And then it happened, and I was like,
No Way Home was better.
Yeah. So there was a lot of hype going into this movie. The expectations obviously were
set very high. So, maybe that's why we feel a little disappointed.
Maybe.
Was just because we had our expectations set so high.
Another weak point of some parts of the movie, I think, was the dialogue as well, actually. Yeah. It got a little corny and a little generic, which
I think a lot of people, there's a lot of people complaining about that Captain Carter line. I can do this all day.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. So the one that sticks out to me the most, I mean, we all know, we've seen the Spider-Man, Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies. There's some corny ass lines in that movie, in those movies.
There are.
But the one that sticks out to me is at the very end when, Doctor Strange is saying bye to Earth 838's Christine. Yeah. He says that I love you in every universe. I love that line. That was great. But then Christine, tells him to just face your fears. I'm like, how many times have we heard that? Face your fears. Yeah. Thank you for that great advice, Christine. I don't know. That didn't do anything for me.
Speaking of Sam Raimi, though, there were definitely some noticeable components, like the transitions. Yes. Oh my God. I saw there was like this one, I forget what it was.
Wong, right?
It was the one with Wong.
Yes.
It was like, I forget what it was panning to, but it was like this this field view or whatever, and then it was showing Wong.
Wong starting to fade in.
Wong like fades into the shot. I'm like, bro, Sam Raimi, it ain't 2004 anymore, bud.
Oh, I was about to say it felt very 2000s.
Oh my god.
Some of the guitar music transitions I actually liked a lot.
Yeah.
Those were cool, but no, there were a few fan transitions.
That fade shot, I was like, oh my god, dude, pick a different style.
Yes.
Come on, it's been years.
Yeah. And then, you know, speaking of the 2000s and Danny Elfman, once again, like this music just didn't stick out to me like the first Doctor Strange. First Doctor Strange, composer, guess who? Michael Giacchino.
God, that guy kills it.
He kills it. I mean, he was probably too busy doing, you know, Batman and everything.
Probably, but it would have been really cool to have him on this.
I know.
I think he would have done. No offense to Danny Elfman, I think he would have done a better job on this score.
I think so
because that first Doctor Strange music was very unique.
It was,
and it was really cool.
No, I really liked the first Doctor Strange music, and you know, I love Doctor Strange themes in Spider-Man: No Way Home.
Yeah.
Guess who did Spider-Man: No Way Home? Michael Giacchino.
Yeah.
So he was probably too busy doing that shit too.
Seriously.
He's a busy guy.
He is a busy guy.
But I would have loved to have him compose the music for this. I think it would have been better.
Probably.
But, you know, hey, if you can't schedule them, you can't schedule them. And since we're on the 2000s aspect of this film, this film really did, the plot itself had a very Spider-Man 2 vibe to it.
It did.
I mean, think about it. You have Doc Ock, who creates something, just wanting to have this power to...
He wanted to do this experiment without at any cost to anybody else.
Yes.
And in this case, it was Wanda wanting her kids at any cost to anybody.
And then there's the moment where our villain, Doc Ock, realizes that it needs to be him who destroys this power.
Yeah.
Okay. And now it's Wanda with her realizing that she needs to destroy this power as well.
It both ends with the bad guy finding their moral compass and being like, oh, this probably wasn't a good idea.
No, it had heavy Spider-Man 2 vibes to the plot.
It really did. And Wanda just the whole time not listening to reason. And I mean, even talking to Doctor Strange, I mean, Jesus, it's like we needed to have a superhero that had kids for her to listen to them, because she was like, do you have kids? No, then you wouldn't understand. Like,
I will say one cold ass line that Wanda had. Steven was like, I know you've made a lot of sacrifices, and Wanda was like, I blew a hole through the head of the one I loved and it meant nothing. Don't tell me about sacrifices. I was like, you goddamn right.
Yeah.
Don't tell us shit about sacrifices.
Seriously. I mean, what the fuck is Steven sacrificed besides like
his hands and
his love life?
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's a reoccurring thing for him.
But, you know, Christine didn't die. She just went with someone else.
In that universe, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's
his Christine.
Yeah, his Christine. And it's not like it was Christine's fault. It was his fault.
It was his fault.
So that's on him.
Yeah.
He's got to live with it.
Yeah. And it's, you know, again, he didn't really sacrifice much other than his little shaky hands.
Shut the fuck up. I mean, that would suck ass too.
Yeah, it would suck. But I mean, he can, like, he does his magic just fine. I wouldn't call him handicapped by any means.
See, that's another part in What If too that I liked, is that they switched up the story. It wasn't his hands that got sacrificed. It was his heart.
It was his, okay.
Yeah.
You corny bitch.
You know, the one issue, or maybe not an issue, but one thing with phase 4 so far, it's like, we know they want to go into the multiverse and like lead that into probably, you know, the Secret Wars. But now it's like, okay, how are all these shows and movies going to intertwine with each other? Because with phase, you know, with the Infinity Saga, it all was in line.
It all came together.
Narrow. Yeah. And, you know, you saw how it was coming together.
Yeah. And
I don't really know how it is yet.
And I honestly can't see how, like, these characters, like the events of Loki, critical for the multiverse.
Yeah.
But can you really see how Loki would play a part, like, in the end of this? Like, I mean, in the Secret Wars? I mean, like, what really would he play? I mean, he didn't even want to create the multiverse. That was Sylvie being stupid.
Yeah. It's a little more hazy right now than what the Infinity Saga was.
Absolutely. Like with the Infinity Saga, we knew it was gonna come down to Thanos.
Yes.
Thanos was gonna be the big bad.
Yes.
There were all the most of the after credit scenes were leading towards that.
Yeah.
Like where we turn, see his face, I'll do it myself,
And
all
Age
those.
of Ultron.
Yeah. So definitely more narrow of a story. This is it's not all over the place, but it seems a little more messy.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna need some time to narrow it down.
Yeah, and before we actually like start to learn, because I mean these are still the intro movies.
They are
and intro
to a good amount of characters.
Shows. Yeah.
Yeah.
To Phase 4 in general.
But then it's like, where would Hawkeye fall in the middle of all this? You know, or like
no
Falcon
idea.
and Winter Soldier.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
I feel like some of these movies and shows are gonna play a part in the Secret Wars.
Yeah.
And I feel like maybe they'll just have like little B stories on the side that have their own little climaxes,
right?
For compared to the actual Secret Wars or whatever they're trying to do.
Yeah.
Because I can't really place Hawkeye in that either. What the fuck is he gonna shoot an arrow at Kang the Conqueror?
Yeah.
I mean, I get you could say the same thing about Thanos, but still,
we'll see where it goes. So let's talk about the end credit scenes. The first end credit scene is Doctor Strange walking the streets, which now he's got. Let's point out that he's got that eye in the middle of his head. He's like a Sinister Strange guy. He read the Darkhold.
He read the Darkhold so he could dream walk and help America Chavez from a different universe. But the Darkhold takes its toll on everybody who reads it, even if he thought he was okay. And so now we have Three-Eyed Doctor Strange.
Yep.
And we see
Charlize
Theron as Cleo.
Yep.
Who is the niece of Dormammu and a major love interest in the comics for Doctor Strange.
It's pretty big stuff right there.
That is a lot to take in just in that short little scene.
She comes out of the dark dimension, says, "Follow me to the dark dimension." You created an incursion, right?
Yep.
So, so we definitely know where Doctor Strange's next storyline should be, at least.
Yeah. And then we had that last end credit scene that was funny.
Yeah, so that's what I want to talk about. The last end credit scene. The dude the hot dog stand guy.
Hot dog stand guy who was the ticket. Who was the what do you call it?
I was gonna say, do you know who that was?
Yeah, that was the ticket. Yeah. That was the ticket guy from Spider-Man 2.
So his name is Bruce Campbell.
Bruce Campbell.
He was the wrestling announcer in Spider-Man 1.
Yes.
He was the ticket usher in Spider-Man 2. And then he was the the French manager at the restaurant.
He was a French waiter.
The manager or whatever.
Yeah.
That guy.
In Spider-Man 3.
Yes. So, him and Sam Raimi are really close, and he always has Bruce Campbell in his movies.
Dude,
some cameo.
He's funny.
He is funny.
He is.
I will say.
And then that was a perfect way to end it too, because he stopped punching himself and he was like, "It's over." Cut to black.
Yeah. Out of the 3 cameos in Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3, what was the funniest one to you? What was your favorite one? That was tough.
It's probably 2 or 3.
Yeah, I know. Even though 3 is like a bad movie,
3's a bad
I really
movie.
like 3 though.
3 might have been his funniest one.
It was funny, and it's funny too because you can tell who it is, but he looks different enough in each movie to where it could be a different character in that universe.
Yeah, I wouldn't have picked him out.
Yeah, exactly. So in the end, overall, I don't think it met all my expectations. I wasn't disappointed. I wasn't disappointed. No. I didn't walk out of the movie theater disappointed. I just walked out and I was like,
that was good.
That was good, but I got to take a minute to think about this one.
Yeah.
A lot happened, and it was the gas pedal was all the way down from minute 1.
Yeah, you just kind of had to process everything that happened.
Yeah.
Within I'd say 30 minutes, we realized Wanda's our bad guy and she's already attacking Kamar-Taj.
Yeah. No, a lot happened.
That was
a cool mirror dimension scene.
It was, and oh my god, and but when she was trying to get in the door, oh my god, she just wiped out all of Kamar-Taj. I'm like,
she's so powerful.
Dude, she's so powerful, but I mean just her willingness to kill that easily. Yeah. I was like, Jesus, Wanda?
Yeah.
You were.
And then didn't she when she was trying to get information out of Wong, didn't she bring people back from the dead just to torture them in front of him?
They weren't dead. They weren't dead.
No?
I think they were injured.
I thought they might have been dead and she resurrected them.
I don't know, but if that was the case, that's a whole nother thing. But yeah, she took like I feel like they were just injured.
Okay.
But yeah, she like lifted them up and was like threatening them and torturing them to get information out of Wong.
Yeah.
Another cool scene that I gotta mention was the whole piano fight.
Oh, you like that?
Dude, that was so cool to me.
I feel like I've seen like people half and half on that one. People oh, that's corny, but I kind of enjoyed it.
I thought it was cool. It was a way to work the score into the fight. I was like, to me, that was really cool. And that's what I like about Doctor Strange's magic is that he kind of uses the elements around him. It's not like he just hits you with like magic blast. Like he uses different spells to create like crazy objects and stuff.
Yeah.
So I thought that fight was really cool.
Yeah.
And that was a cool like little evil version of Doctor Strange that we saw.
It was, yeah. Honestly, I wish we got to see more of these like different versions of Doctor Strange.
I did too. That would have been
maybe like interaction between like all of them or something. But I mean, yeah, I've always loved Benedict Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange. I think he's the perfect.
That was another perfect casting by Marvel.
Perfect casting. Wanda, best part of the movie to me. Elizabeth Olsen did a great job. But yeah, you know, definitely fell short of some expectations, and it was a lot. It was going to have to be a lot to satisfy fans 100%.
Yeah.
Like all the way. It is a hard task to complete for sure, but it could have been, there could have been a few things done differently that could have made it better.
Yeah.
I mean, just like anything else, you know?
I feel like, yeah, definitely these movies where they're just putting a lot of information in there, they're suffering because of that. Like, and like I said before, that was my problem with Eternals was like, it was just like, I didn't hate it, but it was just a lot with what they were trying to do.
Yeah. Yeah. Cause I don't want to like come on here and I'm not shitting on the, you know, Doctor Strange 2.
Yeah.
But I did like the first one better.
I would agree with that.
Yeah. But
I felt a lot more connected to the story.
Yes, for sure. I enjoyed the story more.
And I liked seeing him learning his powers.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Storyline was great for Wanda. We both love that aspect of the film.
That was definitely the best part.
But yeah, so what are your final thoughts?
Final thoughts, good, not great. But I would, if I were to rank it, or give it a IMDb score out of 10, call it a 7.8, 7.9.
Okay. I mean, it's still definitely a movie you have to go see.
Yeah. No, it's essential for the MCU.
Yeah.
Just not my favorite. No,
agreed. Definitely not my favorite. You know, I enjoyed it. A lot of crazy shit happened. You know, I am still excited to see where this leads for Doctor Strange. If we do get to see any more of Wanda, you know, just because we didn't get any information, that makes me at least excited to hopefully see more of America Chavez so I can feel more connected with her character.
Yeah.
Because she should be playing a pretty big role as well.
Yeah, especially her being the one who can travel from multiverse to multiverse. And that's what this whole thing revolves around.
Yeah.
That's going to be a pretty big power.
It is. So yeah, that's our review on Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Definitely go see it if you haven't already, even though we just spoiled the shit out of it once again. But why would you listen to it if you haven't?
Exactly.
So, you know, this is going to be on YouTube, podcast, TikTok. Let us know in the comments what you thought of it. Did it meet your expectations? Did it fall short of it? Let us know. So that's going to do it for this episode of Blake's Takes. I'm your host, Blake. And as always with me, my co-host, Garrett.
See you guys.
And we'll see you next time.